nun.
I swear that the testimony you're about to give
the end of me.
is the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Your name and address, please. Sister Marie Gallagher, home of Our Lady of Mercy, 2020 Lincoln Avenue. Could you tell us what you saw? About midnight, in the parking area near the Crawfords' yacht, I heard a noise and stopped. A man came out on deck, a woman followed. She grabbed him by the arm, and he struck her and knocked her down. I wanted to help her, but sometimes outside interference, I went on my way. A moment later, I stepped up on a car bumper for one more look. But then the deck was empty, so I left. Who were the man and woman?
And she knows.
Oh, I knew them. Brian and Sylvia Crawford. Counselor?
Joe. Sister, you've been very precise about what you saw, but you put the time at about midnight. Is it possible that whatever you saw, or thought you saw...
I have 20/20 vision.
...happened much earlier?
Joe, come here. Oh, I can't give you the exact time.
A dramatic incident, and you remember every detail, but you didn't look at your watch.
I have no watch, sir. To own one would violate my order's vow of poverty. The argument occurred about midnight.
Forgive me, sister, but a nun in a marina at midnight.
I was on my way home.
From bringing solace to the broken and anguished down at the sloops and yawls.
From making an appeal for funds at a charity party. Both people are generous givers. Except for the Crawfords. But they've given in the past when they could.
Mr. Rossetti, when one question has been answered, it is customary to ask another. Sit down, Mr. Ryan. Perhaps you'd like me to recess this trial while you two resolve your differences out on the sidewalk.
If it please the court. Mr. Ryan.
Sister, you say that you left the parking area and then you turned back for another look.
At the yacht. Yes, sir.
Now, there isn't another parking area that's nearby there, is there?
No.
But you say that you stepped up on a car bumper for that second look.
Yes.
Where was that car, sister?
On the roadside. See, the spaces that are marked next to the yachts are for boat owners. This was a visitor.
Sister, I don't suppose you remember. Do you?
Sister, you've shown a keen mind and a retentive memory. Can you describe the car?
Certainly, it was blue. A coupe.
Any other distinguishing characteristics?
I think it was what they call a hatchback.
A blue hatchback coupe.
Exactly.
Bless you, sister.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you, sister. That'll be all.
Judge, in line with your previous ruling, I wish to call Drusilla Gerard.
What ruling was that, Counselor?
Without the inflection.
You show me where that man went anywhere near the Crawford yacht, and I'll admit the testimony. We acted at the court's suggestion. I'm sure an appellate court would agree that you were right.
Call your witness, Counselor.
Drusilla Gerard. If we had merely established that an intruder might have committed the crime, that would constitute reasonable doubt, and we would be entitled to a verdict of not guilty. But we didn't stop there. You know the intruder's name. You know that he was within 100 feet of the scene at the time of the crime. And you know that he hasn't been seen since. If in the face of all this you can still say that beyond a reasonable doubt, Sylvia Crawford killed her husband. I, for one, will always regret that verdict. But you will have to live with it for the rest of your lives.
Now, the defense suggests that a man from Phoenix, with no known connection to Brian Crawford, crept on his boat, stole his gun, and shot him. How did he know the gun would be there? We don't know. What was his motive? They don't tell us. But Sylvia Crawford knew where the gun was. Her motive was money. And she and Brian Crawford fought that night.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have.
Published the verdict?
People against Sylvia Crawford. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant not guilty.
Jury is dismissed. This court is adjourned.
You were lucky this time. Next lunch is on me. Dirty Arnie's.
You got it.
Thank you, Drusilla.
Yes. Thank you, Drusilla.
I know it was tough on you, but it was your testimony that did it.
That's okay, Mr. Ryan. I read the transcript, and my stepfather couldn't have been the intruder.
Why not?
The murderer was left-handed. Tom Mapes wasn't. So I don't feel so bad. Listen, I gotta go. Thanks. My mom needs me, and I need her.
Do you believe that? Because if you
Get it, Frank. I mean, we're lawyers. Look, we were paid to get Sylvia off.
I know, when a case is over, I'd like to know who did it.
Frank? Hey, if you're going to be a cop all your life, would you take the bar exam? Come on, Frank. Hey, it's party time. Come on. Let's go, huh?
Oh, let's go celebrate Joe. Keep that bubbly, bubbly. Here we go. Oh, you've got plenty.
Well, you know,
Would you like? No, you wouldn't. Hey, guys, let me through. Don't hit the lady with the food. Oh.
Mr. Rossetti, why are you drinking from that shoe? Slip-on. It adds body. I'm very grateful to Mrs. Hardcastle for this. Our old man never gives anybody anything but time. But I'm gonna keep this. This slipper goes with me everywhere. Party pooper.
Joe, I got it. I think I know what happened, and it wasn't an intruder.
Are you telling me it was Sylvia?
An intruder couldn't come through that door without a key, right? Or through the porthole unless he was Tom Thumb.
But somebody got in there, Frank.
You remember the closet where I was clobbered? Now, these are police pictures taken much earlier. Look at this one. Have you seen anything?
Yeah, I see that Brian Crawford had a lot of suits and jackets. Look, there's a Cheviot drape with a box pleat.
Look at the hangers. One hook pointing forward, all the rest pointing back. Huh? Now check the shoes. One pair of shoes is 2 inches shorter than the rest. A second man had clothes in that closet. Now, an intruder doesn't put his clothes away unless he's spending the night.
In which case, he's not an intruder. Mapes. Sylvia Crawford. What about her? You guys represent her? Only in the murder of her husband. And you're still working. 2 hours ago, on their yacht in the marina, Sylvia Crawford shot and killed her husband, Brian Crawford. What are you talking about? Brian Crawford has been dead. I was there when they planted him. Who was in that box?
Thomas Mapes.
Give the man a balloon.
Long time no see you, Mr. Rossetti.
Hello, Sylvia. It's like old times, isn't it? We'll get you out of here. They can't hold you for killing Brian. You've already been acquitted of that.
Well, you better tell us what happened. This afternoon.
I went back to the boat. Brian was there. He said he'd been in San Diego.
Sure, he could have been anywhere. Nobody looks for a dead man. Go on.
We talked. And later on, an intruder came aboard and shot him.
That's like old times. Sylvia, tell us about the first killing. You can. Brian is dead. Really dead. You don't have to protect him anymore.
I loved him, you see. Very much. Always. And he loved me too, I think. Until about 2 years ago when his business started to sour. And then he began to... He never touched me. We didn't even talk. There was no closeness. Nothing. Tom Mapes was somebody. We met in the rain, running for taxi about 6 months ago. He was somebody to talk to, that's all. Believe me. That's all.
But this time, when it happened,
Tom called that night from the airport. He wanted to come to the yacht. He'd never done that before. I didn't think it meant anything. God help me, maybe I didn't care. I knew it was a mistake as soon as he came aboard. He wanted me. I said no, but he thought I was playing games. We talked. He drank. And finally, because he was too drunk to drive, I let him spend the night. He slept in the master cabin. I slept in a bunk in the forward cabin. I heard the footsteps and the shots. Brian must have gone down to our cabin. Maybe Tom sat up in bed. And Brian assumed we were together.
what happened afterwards?
Tom Mapes was dead. I caught up with Brian on the deck. I grabbed his arm. He wouldn't listen. He hit me.
That's what the nuns saw afterwards.
Brian lost his keys in the struggle. He took Tom's keys and Tom's car and ran away.
And then you called the police. You told them your husband had been shot.
No. I was hysterical. I said, he's dead. There's been a shooting. That's all.
But later, when the police said, "Is this your husband?"
Then all I could think about was Brian and all the trouble he'd be in. All my fault, really. And here was my chance.